the system is rigged against the American people, against the taxpayers. So we get price gouged when we need our medication.
There's no war. All there is the most gross ethnic cleansing, genocide, starvation, disgusting slaughter that I have ever seen. They're dumb.
They're
right, and they're incompetent.
Incompetent,
total losers.
God, the Democrats are so pathetic. They're so pathetic.
Don't tell me, oh, he's such a great genius. That's why he made all of this money, and he's the richest man and the greatest man in the world. That's why you should give your taxes to him?
How can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes.
Okay, well, look, yes, people make mistakes, but this isn't X. This isn't a social media platform. We're playing with people's lives. And while, again, there might be some good ideas, these ideas are not being executed well, and we're being told that they are when they aren't. Okay, so that's the reality of the situation. Again, the priorities here are genuinely questionable, especially coming from a party that has, in my opinion, pretended like they wanted to do something about the waste in the Pentagon, pretended like they really wanted to take Big Pharma to task. Did they though? Did they want to take Big Pharma to task? Because if they do want to save some money, a really great way to do that, great way to start, is to, allow our Medicare system to negotiate pharmaceutical drug prices. I'm not talking about price fixing. I'm simply talking about allowing our Medicare system to negotiate for lower drug prices. That would save American taxpayers quite a bit of money. But that's not a priority, is it? I haven't heard anyone in the Trump administration talk about the fact that pharmaceutical companies are not only price gouging Americans who are not on Medicare, but they're also price gouging American citizens who are paying their taxes into the Medicare system, because Medicare can't negotiate for lower drug prices. They just have to accept what the pharmaceutical industry wants to charge for these drugs. How exactly is that supposed to fall under the category of a free market capitalistic system? In a free market, you're supposed to be able to negotiate. Instead, the system is rigged against the American people, against the taxpayers. So we get price gouged when we need our medication, and we get price gouged again with having our taxpayer money essentially stolen by these price gougers through the Medicare system. It's disgusting. So get your priorities straight. Are you serious about cutting government waste, or are you not? Because so far, to me, it appears all of the focus is on retaliating against government agencies and government programs that the right wing doesn't like. And when you take all of those programs and put them together, they barely make a dent in our federal budget.
I feel terrible for those hostages. We got to get those hostages home. The way to get them home is a peace deal, not a fake ceasefire like this one. So he says, if Netanyahu might value, Ravid, the reporter there, resumption of the war more than he values those hostages.
100%.
But wait, I want to be clear. There is no war here. All of Hamas's leaders are dead. And Hamas is doing almost nothing at this point. So it would be a resumption of the genocide and the wholesale slaughter of Palestinians. There are almost no legitimate military targets left in Gaza. It's almost utterly destroyed. Trump says, hey, you can't live there because the whole thing is destroyed. By the way, he says, side note, we will live there. You can't live there because we destroyed your homes, but we'll be building homes for Israelis now, and they can live there. But meanwhile, even though the whole place is destroyed, we have to resume the war. There's no war. All there is the most gross ethnic cleansing, genocide, starvation, disgusting slaughter that I have ever seen. So we're all seeing it with our own eyes. Finally, they asked, did the administration have a plan when Trump, out of the blue, seemingly out of the blue, announced that we were going to own Gaza? And of course, when asked that, the people inside the administration say, no, of course there was no plan, because Trump made it up after Netanyahu talked to him, and Netanyahu reminded him who the goddamn boss is and how he'd like to be. If he allows him, he'll let America be second. And then he walked him around the Oval Office probably on a leash. And then Trump sat him down like a freaking waiter.
Literally pulled the chair for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and of course the Netanyahu reaction, as Anna read earlier in the show, was he was elated. He's like, this is even better than we imagined. We're gonna get these sucker Americans to finance the entire slaughter, green light it, pay for it. We might even get them to do it instead of risking any precious Israeli lives, which are, by the way, also worth 10,000 American lives. No life is as precious on this planet as an Israeli life. And so we all have to pay for everything, for everyone around them to be killed, to protect them. No, to steal land. By the way, every Israeli defender who said they wouldn't go to Gaza to steal the land, okay. I want confessions, I want apologies, how wrong you were. Of course they were going to steal the land. Of course that was the whole point. And by the way, let's remember, on October 7th, they knew that Hamas was planning to do it. We'd have that from Israeli sources, indisputable, and chose to do nothing about it because they thought, oh, it's probably not real. Really? Or maybe they use it as an excuse to slaughter the Palestinians and steal their land, exactly as we said at the very beginning.
Axios reported on a closed door meeting that House Democrats had this week, where they were essentially engaging in this like gripe fest directed at liberal grassroots organizations. Hakeem Jeffries, of course, was part of that complaint-a-thon. An anonymous senior House Democrat said Jeffries himself is very frustrated at the groups. Resign. Step down. You are not fit to be a leader of any party. I mean, much less the PTA. Like, resign. What are you doing? You're frustrated that as the House minority leader, Democratic voters are expecting you to fight back against the Republicans' agenda? Okay. Look, everyone understands that Republicans are in charge right now. Everyone understands that Donald Trump is the president. And Republicans have a majority in Congress, in both the House and the Senate. We get it. But there is a clear distinction between Democrats and Republicans when the shoe is on the other foot and Republicans don't have the majority in the House or Senate. And when a Democrat is in the executive branch, they find other creative ways to fight back. But you don't see that from Democrats. That's the thing that really stands out here. And look, if they're not gonna have a strategy, the least they can do is shut the F up about how irritated they are that their constituents want them to do something, but they can't help themselves. This is the thing about the Democratic Party. They loathe their base. It was clear to me all the way back in 2016 with the way Hillary Clinton and all her cronies talked about Democratic voters, and it's even clearer to me now. They feel entitled to their positions of power. They do not see themselves as public servants. They see you, the Democratic voters, as their public servants. It is disgusting. And time again, in every election cycle, dating back to 2016, all we get from Democrats is, do you really have a choice? You don't vote for us. Look at the other guy. Dangerous, dangerous. Okay, at some point, voters are gonna get sick of that, and they're either not gonna show up to vote, or they might actually cast a ballot for the other guy.
Look, Elon, I'm telling you right now, as my son says, he's on fraud watch, okay? So what I mean by that is not like, oh my God, I thought maybe he was a great guy, but maybe he's not. No. Believe me. I don't know if you could tell from this segment, let alone 200 other segments that I did. But what I mean by that is, there's something, those companies, he's like Trump, he's weirdly desperate for money. Why is the richest man in the world constantly like, let's do a Doge thing, and then I make money by scamming little guys, and then I pump and dump, and let's put it on blockchain. You're the richest man in the world. You're $439 billion. There's something up with him. There's something not right with him being the richest guy. I don't know what it is, to be fair. And I'm sure, like, and he constantly suing and attacking anyone who criticizes him. What happened to free speech? What happened to free speech absolutists? Oh, you offended me, just like Trump and Elon. You offended me. Oh, I'm gonna use my wealth to crush you. Oh, wow, you seem like such a free speech absolutist. And you give me so much confidence that you're doing this on behalf of the American people. No, you give me no confidence on that. And so, look, I don't mind his government contracts that Jordan talked about, the 15 billion, et cetera. I do mind the subsidies. If you're the richest man in the world, why are you taking money out of my pocket and all of our viewers' pockets to subsidize your business? Don't tell me, oh, he's such a great genius. That's why he made all of this money and he's the richest man and the greatest man in the world. That's why you should give your taxes to him? No, you don't get it both ways. No way. If you're the greatest businessman of all time, then go ahead and take a giant long walk off a short dock when you ask the average American who's busting his ass for his tax money. No, you should get zero in subsidies. Why don't you cut your own subsidies first? Oh, look at that. He cut AIDS treatment to children in Africa, but he didn't cut his own subsidies.
We want to get stuff done. We want to make life better for the American people. But I'm trying to figure out what leverage we actually have. What leverage do we have? Republicans have repeatedly lectured America. They control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It's their government. What leverage do we have?
The fearless opposition party, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. There's nothing we can do. What do you want us to do? I'm gonna stand here as the House minority leader and complain about how we don't have any leverage when I could be messaging about how there's a robbery going on right now as we speak. The dismantling of the government agencies seeking to return money to Americans who are defrauded by the big banks. Can you maybe muster up enough energy to give a speech about that? House minority leader.
Yeah.
Hakeem Jeffries. God, the Democrats are so pathetic. They're so pathetic because if you don't agree with what the Trump administration is up to, if you don't identify as a Republican, if you didn't want to vote for Donald Trump, what other option do you have? Okay, the party that tried to run a decomposing corpse, and then when he got caught, they anointed the Democratic nominee. The party that keeps telling you that there's nothing they can do, whether they're in power or out of power.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
There's nothing we could do. There's nothing we could do.
They're so pathetic.
And now that they're in the minority, here comes Hakeem Jeffries to sing the same song. There's nothing we could do. Then what? You know what? The American people believed you. You kept telling them that you can't do anything, so they voted you out of power because you can't do anything. Why don't you man up and grow a spine and a brain and actually figure out a strategy? That moron just said, well, and the Republicans have the House and the Senate and the White House, and the Republicans message to the American people. Wait, why don't you message to the American people? You're doing a press conference right there, schmuck. Why don't you get out your message? I didn't think about that. Look, I need you to understand, these Democratic leadership, mainstream media told you your whole life about how they're amazing people. They literally said when we were criticizing Barack Obama from the left, you don't understand, he's doing 4-dimensional chess. He 4-dimensional chess to no change at all other than Obamacare, okay? He 4D chess all the way to a giant bank bailout that made the Democratic Party deeply unpopular and lost 1,000 seats. And here comes Hakeem Jeffries to go, there's nothing I can do. They're dumb. They're right, and they're incompetent.
Incompetent, feckless.
Total losers.
Yep.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.